Welcome to Taste Reviews Drink Edition. I'm your host, Dirk Silver, and we back for another episode, another tasting, another review, and of course, we got a new one for you, of course. And today, we're going to be tasting and reviewing, well, I'm going to be tasting and reviewing Weldon Mills Soldier's Cut Bourbon Whiskey. It's 82 proof, 41% alcohol, and this one right here. This particular bourbon whiskey is from North Carolina, Weldon, North Carolina. They have a distillery out there, Weldon Mills. Of course, all the information will be in the description down below. Shout out to all the followers, subscribers. Appreciate the likes, comments, all that good stuff. Yeah, so I'm excited about this one. This one right here was a donation to the show. So if you want to donate, you got the Cash App down in the description as well. You can holler at me on the Taste to Consider Network on Instagram. So let's get to it. Let me just start from the back of the bottle. It's a nice bottle, um, a bottle that we've seen plenty of times before. Classic type of bourbon bottle. Nice details on the label. Uh, yeah, really cool. So the back of it, it says Weldon Mills Distillery, Weldon, North Carolina. We dedicate this brand to all service members, laws protecting our freedoms and way of life. As such, a cut of the proceeds from the sale of this brand will go towards supporting family of fallen service members we will never forget. Aged less than 2 years in small barrels. Distilled and bottled by Weldon Mills Distillery in Weldon, North Carolina. And of course, they got their website on the back as well. So let's move on to their website. It says Soldier Cut, handcrafted in North Carolina, 82 proof, back-to-back platinum medal winner at the 2021 and 2022 SIP International Spirit Awards, smooth and flavorful, neat, or in high-end cocktails. Raises funds for Gold Star families. They got a few awards for this particular bourbon whiskey, the Soldier's Cut one. They also have other bourbons as well, and they have vodka and gin as well that they distill also. So let's move to the tasting notes. The tasting notes. This 82 proof bourbon honoring the 82nd Airborne Division and raising money for Gold Star families is our lightest offering. This award winning bourbon is flavorful with a satisfying finish that can be enjoyed neat or mixed in the cocktail. Okay, so they didn't give too much information, if any at all, of the tasting notes for this particular bourbon whiskey. So we're gonna have to, use my skills, my tasting skills on this one right here. So that's probably the only critique that I would have so far for this particular bourbon whiskey, that they don't have clear cut tasting notes on their website. Because, I love to see some tasting notes on a website. I like to know, what I'm getting into. I like to know what to look forward to and really barrel down and see if I can taste, exactly what they're saying those tasting notes are. But let's move on to your favorite part of the show, the tasting. I forgot the pour. Actually, I need to buy some more pours, all this daggone whiskey and bourbon that I've been collecting or adding. So right now it smells really good. Has a sweet taste, sweet smell to it. I smell a little some fruity notes. So far, some fruity notes. I smell a little oak, smell a little vanilla. So let's start with the nose and glass. Lord, I'm just all over the place right now. And funny story. Like, this is the second bottle of this particular bourbon whiskey that was donated to the show. The first time that this bourbon whiskey was donated to the show, when I went to go pick it up, I dropped it and the bottle broke. And that was like almost a month ago. So I finally got another bottle donated to the show. Thank you very much. And now I can taste it and just give a review. Because at first I dropped it on the ground and all you smelt was bourbon all over the place. So let's start with the nose and glass. Let's get a look at it. It's not too oily, has a good color to it, a nice bronze color to it. Yeah, it's not too oily. So let's stir it up. Sniff, sniff. Smells really good. Doesn't smell strong at all. I smell a little spice to it. It smells like a classic bourbon. Smells exactly like how a bourbon should smell. Now, sip. So, what I'm tasting first is on the front end, I'm tasting a lot of oak. It's a lot of oak. I'm not tasting too much spice. Um, the oak flavor is very strong with this bourbon whiskey, but it's not overwhelming. It's very subtle. Yeah, the oak flavor is very, very prevalent with this bourbon whiskey. So much so that I'm having trouble tasting anything else right now. I'm really having trouble tasting uh, anything but oak. And it's very interesting because even though all I'm tasting is oak, it doesn't come off as bad. It doesn't come off as overwhelming or strong. It's almost what I'm tasting with this bourbon whiskey is almost like I'm tasting cork. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like cork. Even though I've never eaten cork, but I've smelled cork enough to know what it would taste like because you know your palate is all connected anyway. But yeah, I taste cork. Yeah, this is very interesting. This is like the first time I've ever had a bourbon whiskey where I only tasted one note. I'm not getting anything else but oak or cork. That's all I'm tasting. Interesting. Interesting. So let me move on to the tumbler, the glass with a splash of water. Maybe that'll bring something out of this bourbon whiskey. It's almost like I'm uh along with the cork or the oak, I'm tasting smoke. So that I'm starting to taste that now. Oh, and I forgot about the finish. That the flavors just throw me off so much that I forgot about the finish. The finish, I will give the finish a medium long to long finish because I'm still feeling it right now, that finish. So let me go ahead and cleanse my palate. Now let's move on to the tumbler with a splash of water. Stir it, sniff. I'm still getting that oak scent. The sweetness, though, I'm getting the sweetness as well that I'm smelling. I'm still smelling a little fruit, but I haven't tasted the fruit yet. Burp number one, I felt that coming. Burp number two, burp number three, burp number four, burp number five. Dang. Burp number six. Excuse me. All right, let's get to this. Yeah, so right now with the splash of water, I'm pretty much getting the same thing. Um, I'd say some smokiness. I'd say some oak, some wood, cork. That's all I'm really tasting with this bourbon whiskey. So let me go ahead and get the glass with ice, the tumbler on the rocks. Get that ready, get that going, cold. Into the show glass as well. And let me get back to this, because I'm seriously only tasting smoke, wood, oak, cork. I'm not tasting any vanilla. I'm not tasting no caramel. I'm not tasting any type of fruit. I'm only getting smoke, wood, and whatever that would be, whether it's oak or I'm tasting cork. So let me stir, sniff, sip. Yeah, that's. I'm starting to taste a little peppermint now. I'm starting to taste a little peppermint now. I just when I let it sit on my tongue for a little bit, I tasted a sweet peppermint just now. So now I'm feeling a little better that I'm tasting more than just smoke and wood. I tasted a little sweet peppermint. So let me finish this off. Yeah, letting it sit on my tongue a little bit, I was able to taste, and I just tasted it again with that splash of water. Um, some peppermint. So far, I'm getting smoke, wood, cork, peppermint. Now, for the glass on the rocks, let's stir that around, get them rocks going, sniff. Still getting the same smell. Uh, it's crazy because I'm getting the sweet, fruity smell, but I'm just not tasting it. And that's fine because that happens a lot. You know, the notes from your nose and your mouth can be different when it comes to the bourbon whiskey. Stir it one more time. It still smells good. It's a very inviting bourbon whiskey. It smells really good. So now let me sip. So on the rocks, I'm still tasting that smokiness. I'm tasting that wood. I don't taste the cork as much, and I'm still getting a little hint of peppermint. And on the rocks, the finish is short. It's not. I don't. It's not the same neat. And with the splash of water, it's not medium long to long. Um, it's much more smoother on the rocks. Yeah, I'm getting smoke, wood, little peppermint. It's much more smoother on the rocks. So, Weldon Mills shoulders cut bourbon whiskey. It was a surprise from the beginning. Uh, just tasting that wood first, but once I, you know, sat with it for a little while, let it sit on my tongue for a little while, I started to get more flavors. I got smokiness, I got wood, I got cork, and I got peppermint. This is probably one of the first bourbon whiskeys or whiskeys period that I've tasted that didn't have any type of um, fruity taste to it, or I didn't taste any vanilla or no caramel, or I mean, really not that much sweetness. But the surprise about it was it wasn't a bad whiskey. Like, even though it has that flavor profile, I can still drink this neat, and it would go great with cocktails. Depending on how you craft your old fashions, what type of simple syrups you use, bitters, and you can even add fruit flavor based off of the bitters or the simple syrup. So you can add a fruity note or a vanilla note or a caramel note to the bourbon whiskey based off of the cocktails that you make. So out of 5 tastes, I give Weldon Mills Shoulders Cut Bourbon Whiskey a 3.8 out of 5. It is serviceable. I wouldn't give this bourbon whiskey to a first time bourbon drinker if they was like really trying to get into bourbon taste. This wouldn't be the first one that I give them. I would give them something else first and then let them taste this maybe 2, 3 bourbon whiskeys down the line afterwards. But it's great for cocktails, definitely. And because I'm an experienced bourbon whiskey drinker, I can drink this neat, splash of water on the rocks, cocktails. So, Weldon Mills Shoulders Cut Bourbon Whiskey gets 3.8 out of 5 tastes. Um, Thank you for the donation once again to the show. I'll be back next week with another donation from the show. And I look forward to that. I look forward to hearing from you about the episode, about the review. And if you want to try it, you can order it with the information down in the description. It really was a good bourbon whiskey without the vanilla and the fruity notes. So check it out. If you check it out, let me know. Once again, this has been another episode of Taste Reviews Drink Edition. And I'm your host, Derek Silver. Thank you for checking me out. And make sure you drink responsibly. Drink responsibly.